Howdy folks, I'm Rude Rutherfordium, ruthlessly ruining rad relay races.
I'm Amber.
And here are more rad relay races for us to ruin because apparently Rutherfordium is just bitter because they weren't invited to any races. They were left in the dark of all the races, so to speak. And they just wanted to race against other people, but I guess they're radioactive and destructive. And I don't understand why people just don't like Rutherfordium. Let's get started. Is Rutherfordium radioactive?
I have no idea.
I imagine it must be. I think that's one of the synthetic ones.
Yeah, we're getting pretty high up there in the periodic table. We're at like 104 or something.
Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Making Board Game Nights in My Store Child-Free? I'm a 35-year-old male, and I own a game store and hold a board game/D&D night 3 times a week. I have a few tables set up in the back so people can come and play games, along with a small kitchen, just really a fridge, microwave, sink, and cupboard, so people can have some snacks and drinks while they play. One of the regular groups have been playing D&D in my store on a weekly basis for the past 3 years, and I've sometimes joined them as a guest player. It's always been great fun. About a year ago, they had to find a new DM because their usual DM didn't have the time to dedicate to preparing campaigns anymore. While they were looking, they still came in weekly, but they just played regular board games instead. Now, a few months ago, this 10-year-old girl, we'll call her Emma, for convenience, showed up with her mother at one of the game nights. According to her mother, Emma has been spending months making all kinds of materials for playing D&D, but didn't know anyone who wanted to play with her. So her mother wondered if it was okay for her to ask at my store if anyone would be willing to play. The regular group was more than happy to join in for a session, and it ended up going so well that they asked Emma to DM for them regularly if she wanted to. Fast forward to now, and Emma is DMing 2 days a week. One time for the regular group, and one time for one-off sessions for other people to jump in if they want to. I swear, this girl is a genius. She has memorized the entire player's handbook and monster's guide, and made a fully homebrewed campaign that genuinely is fun and exciting, though sometimes also surprisingly dark. Now for the problem. A few other people have started complaining about there being a child on game nights, saying the reason that they're playing here is because they have children at home. Now that Emma is also coming to the game nights, they feel that they can't play games as they usually do because they keep having to think about whether their language or jokes are inappropriate for the presence of a child. I told them that I never said anything about providing a child-free space, so I won't be banning Emma from coming. I'm sorry that they don't like it, but they're welcome to play their nights on the days that Emma isn't there, or find a different place to play. I did tell Emma's mother that Emma is only allowed to be here as long as one of her parents are also present, not going to take any risks. Am I the jerk for not banning children from game nights and telling people basically just to get over it? Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. I mean, I might feel differently if, Emma was constantly having tantrums and being disruptive.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she's just playing a game like everyone else.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of places where you can play games without children. Like not every environment is suitable for children, but a board game store seems like a great place for kids, at least some of the time.
Yeah, well, and there's always the third day when Emma isn't around, if that's when they want to show up, right? So I don't think that OP's in the wrong here. OP, like they said, didn't guarantee a child-free space. This isn't a over 21 bar or something like that where, where it's just not an appropriate place for a child to be, right?
Well, exactly. Like I figure they probably have games for all ages, and so you'd expect that somewhere where there's products for all ages would also have events for people of all ages.
Yeah. So I don't think that OP's in the wrong here. I think that they're doing a great job, and I'm glad that they're working with Emma and helping her to have a creative outlet for her, hobby here. I think it's really wonderful that someone and these groups of people are supporting Emma here. And they're having fun too, right? She's actually contributing to the environment.
Hmm.
So what are these people who are complaining doing? Are they contributing?
Right. It sounds like they're not even part of the D&D group. They just want to play their own board games and they're afraid that she'll overhear swearing or whatever. And it says in
Hmm.
the comments that Emma's parents are not concerned and because she knows not to use bad words and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I understand why people want to self-censor when there are children around.
Yeah.
But again, that's on them and not on Emma or anyone else.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Stardust 2187 says, not the jerk. I'm going to go a bit off track here. OP, to tell you how awesome you are. I guarantee that you are changing Emma's life for the better. I don't know how many other kids her age would want to play with her, so the fact that you're providing her with a safe and supportive environment to pursue something that she clearly loves with a group of people that have embraced her like they have is amazing. Keep it up, OP. And OP replies, apparently Emma did try to play D&D with a few people from her school at first, but it didn't go so well because they were just interested in completely different things. From what Emma's mother told me, Emma doesn't really get along with the other kids that are her age, presumably because Emma seems to be quite a bit further ahead in her mental development. It sounds like Emma's a little bit isolated at school, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really good that she can have a creative outlet.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely can like sympathize with Emma in that, like, for some kids, it's just hard to connect with your peers for one reason or another. And so finding supportive adults who you can connect with can be a great thing.
And Carbon Based 216 says, follow up question. Did at any point you promise Emma's mother that her child wouldn't be exposed to vulgar or foul language? Though obviously not the norm, I have seen D&D campaigns that get pretty wild and rowdy before. And OP replies, not at all. Her mother was perfectly clear that Emma is perfectly capable of knowing what language is appropriate or not. And any language you can hear in a D&D game, you can just as realistically hear while you're out on the street, as long as it's all being done in context, and Emma won't start using such language in daily life. Her mother is fine with the occasional foul language that happens. I mean, if you have a drunken bar brawl happening in the story, foul language is realistically going to happen. And K John 86 says, not the jerk. Adults realizing that their inappropriate jokes are inappropriate. Shocking. You're running a game store, not an adults only comedy club or bar. And edit, just curious, what does her parents do when she's in the shop doing her DMing? Chill out and hang out? And OP replies, her mother is just usually hanging out and doing chats. Or sometimes she brings her laptop and works in the meantime. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Refusing to Change My Daughter's Clothes at a Birthday Party? I'm a 34-year-old female and I have two kids, an 8-year-old male and a 4-year-old female. My daughter's name is Aurora. My husband, a 36-year-old male, and I chose that name because it was slightly similar to my late father-in-law's, and it worked well with our last names. But it had nothing to do with the princess from Sleeping Beauty. In spite of that, we've had such a fun time with the movies in the past, and ever since my daughter realized that she shares name with a Disney character, Princess Aurora has been her favorite. Our family went to Disney World in July, and while there, we bought my daughter a Princess Aurora costume. She adores it, and wears it whenever she has a chance. Well, 2 weeks ago, one of Aurora's friends from school threw a princess-themed birthday party. She encouraged her friends to wear costumes. My daughter wanted to go as her favorite character, which didn't surprise me at all. When we got to the party, the birthday girl came to greet my daughter, and she was also dressed as Princess Aurora. I didn't know what her costume was going to be prior to the party. I got worried for a second, but the birthday girl was actually really excited. She said that they looked like twins. It was adorable. They ran off to play, and I forgot about the costumes for a little while. About 30 minutes later into the party, I was at a table with some of the other moms when the birthday girl's mother comes up to me. She asked if I had brought any spare clothes for Aurora. I said yes. I always bring an extra shirt and shorts for her. She then asked me to change my daughter into spare clothes and out of her costume. The mother explained that she had hired a photographer to walk around taking pictures of the kids, and was also planning on getting a group photo near the end of the party. She didn't want anyone wearing the same costume as her daughter in these pictures. She also thought that her daughter might get jealous, since my kid has to share the name with her favorite princess. Now, if the birthday girl was the one who had the problem, I might have considered changing Aurora into her spare clothes. But no, she was genuinely excited that they were dressed the same. It also didn't feel fair to force my daughter to be the only one without a costume in a party full of children dressed as princesses. I said no and explained my reasoning to the girl's mom. She insisted for a few minutes, but I held my ground. Some of the other moms started backing me up, and eventually she just got up and left. When I went to pick up my kids earlier this week, I ran into the mom's friends. She accused me of ruining her daughter's party and allowing Aurora to wear the same costume as her. She told me that she didn't think that she'll ever be able to look at the pictures without being disgusted by my behavior. I thought that she was exaggerating, but I'm starting to doubt myself. Our conflict has found its way to the mom group chat that we're both in, and opinions over this are divided. Some think that having two girls wear the same costume is no big deal, while others think that I should have changed my daughter's clothes. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. First of all, the birthday girl was fine with it and even excited, and the birthday girl is the one who matters here.
Yeah.
Secondly, if the mom had been insistent that no one else dress as Aurora, she needed to put that on the invite.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can't just tell people to dress as a princess when there's a girl coming named Aurora and just assume she won't dress as Princess Aurora.
Yeah, I mean, what was this mom thinking? I just don't know. Like, you have a little girl who's named Aurora. What princess do you really think she's going to dress up as? She's probably going to dress up as the one who is her namesake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not really namesake, but close
Right.
enough, right? And I think that, like Amber said, if you want to avoid a conflict like this, then you need to specify well ahead of time that costume is off limits.
Like, you can easily just be like, we're having a princess themed party. We invite your children to come in costume. However, since the birthday girl is going to be dressed as Aurora, we ask that you refrain from Aurora. So you have something simple like that. You just put one line on the invite and it's all taken care of.
Yeah.
Again, also that now, like, singling her out so she'd be the only kid at the party without a costume on is also kind of icky.
That feels kind of cruel. Not only stripping of her favorite princess, but then also, making it so that she's the only one not in costume. That can't be very good for a little girl.
Yeah, and it makes it so she can't really have as much fun playing as everyone else. She would probably feel like singled out and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it creates an animosity that wasn't there before between the girls, because it sounds like they both were very happy to be Princess Aurora together.
Well, and even if she wasn't, like, if the other girl was unhappy, you have to learn how to share, right? And as an adult, eventually when she becomes an adult, she's going to learn that she can't always have her way exactly the way she wants, right? And that's part of growing up, is learning that you can't always be exclusive, that you can't always have your own way exactly the way you want it. So I think that the mother is just trying to coddle her, to be quite honest. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Pensaha says, nothing was known ahead of time that the mom had such a rule. Not the jerk. And have to wonder if there had been other princess twins, if it was expected that no duplicate outfits were to be around, period. The woman is the only one who has a problem. Doesn't take much to ruin things for such people. Suspect that they try to have things set up to be ruined. And OP replies, there were only two Auroras, my daughter and the birthday girl. Besides them, I think that there were 3 Elsas, 3 Ariels, 2 Jasmines, and 2 Belles. There were also some princesses that only appeared once. Alright folks, and our last letter is titled, Will I be a jerk for refusing to drive my wife and her sisters to an out-of-town concert? Hello all. Recently, my wife, a 33-year-old female, and I, a 37-year-old male, were able to get 4 tickets to a concert that is extremely hard to get tickets for. I was super stoked. We have been huge fans of this artist for years, and we have all of their albums. Last night, my wife tells me that because we only got 4 tickets, max with the code that we had, I wouldn't be able to attend, as her and her 3 sisters were making it a sister's trip. Will I be the jerk for telling them that I'm not going to drive them to the concert, 4 hours over snow-covered highways, if I'm cut from going? Especially because 2 of her sisters aren't even fans of this artist, and I was only told that I was cut after the fact, not while working on getting the pre-sale tickets. Edit for more information. the concert is Taylor Swift, and I was told of this girl trip idea last night on our way home from a hockey game. Wife told me that she hopes that one of her sisters can't make it so I can go, which almost makes it worse. All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
No, I don't think OP's the jerk, and I do think it's worth having a deeper conversation with the wife here. It sounds like they both are Taylor Swift fans and got these tickets together, and there's no reason why his wife should have control over all four of the tickets.
Yeah.
I think it's totally reasonable to tell her, let her know how important this is to you and how you are going to go and use your ticket, and she can go on her own or go with you, but I think it's totally fair to want one of those tickets for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's reasonable. I don't think that OP, if they don't want to go, then they don't have to go. If the other people want them to drive them, that's too bad. OP spent time getting those tickets, and I can't blame them for feeling slighted in this situation. And then with the wife's comments about, oh, I hope one of my sisters can't go, so that why don't you just ask one of your sisters who's not a fan of Taylor Swift to not go then?
Right. The thing that makes sense is just take the one sister who's a fan, and then OP invites someone for the other ticket, and then they each have a friend there with them, and it's all good.
Yeah, and make a girls' night some other night.
Exactly. There's so many other things they could do, and that could be something, you say OP is, oh, hey, well, I really want to go to the concert, but, in a few weekends, if you want to take a girls' trip, I'll, watch the pets or kids or whatever, if you have them,
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Slow Lime says, not the jerk, and that's really messed up of your wife to cut you out of this experience when you are so clearly invested in this artist. And were a part of getting the tickets. I would absolutely not be driving them anywhere. But I'd also make it clear to your wife that you're hurt, that this is really insensitive of her, and that you really were looking forward to it and wanted to go. Your feelings matter too. You're not just a taxi, and we're looking forward to the concert with her. Definitely, you have to make your feelings known on this. Don't just be passive aggressive and tell them that you're not driving them. Explain how hurt and annoyed you are, and that you aren't driving them to the concert, and that they can figure out their own transport. I actually think that's a really important point, is that OP needs to give the reason why they're not driving them to the concert. Because, again, this is an important communication. I don't blame OP for not wanting to take them, but they should at least say that they're not driving them because they feel hurt and don't want to go.
Well, and I also don't like how the wife is making it out like, oh, there's nothing I can do. It just happened to become a girls' trip.
Yeah.
Like, you're the ones who got the tickets. If your sisters just try to commandeer this, it's her responsibility to, set a boundary and be like, actually, these are mine and my husband's tickets. We have to discuss this together.
Yeah, exactly. And Regular Boot 3540 says, not the jerk, but why didn't you know right away one of the tickets wasn't for you? And OP replies, she told me about her sisters wanting to make it a girl trip, and that they had hoped to be able to get more tickets after the fact. She actually waited until we were driving home from a hockey game last night to tell me. She hopes that one of her sisters can't make it so that I can't go, which almost makes it worse. So that's an interesting little bit, is that it sounds like OP, that the wife wanted to get more tickets.
Well, it sounds like the sisters are like, oh, we're going to make this a girls' ticket. We'll see if we can get more tickets.
Yeah.
And then, of course you can't because it's Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And then she's just booting OP instead of actually, standing up to her sisters.
Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
All right, I'm not sure if I've done this one before. I need to get us a new joke book because I'm not sure. But, reporter, did you enjoy the movie, Mr. Frankenstein? Frankenstein, yes, it kept me in stitches.
I don't think you've told that one.
Okay, good.
I don't think you've told that one. But what is with Jovial Bobstein and Frankenstein jokes, period?
There's an entire section in this one for Frankenstein.
Oh, I see how it is. That makes more sense. I was like, or is there a whole section for vampires too?
I don't think so.
It's been a while since we have a vampire joke, like one day.
There's Monster Madness, Monster Mommies, which most of those were just weird. Boys and Ghouls, most of those weren't great either. Some Frankenstein fun. Creature features, howls and howlers, and so on and so forth. So Frankenstein is the only monster who has a joke section dedicated to him.
And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Happy Friday! Congratulations, you made it to the end of the week, and I did too. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please make it wholesome.
One of the best things you can do with your time is to support the people in your life, whether they are kids or adults, in things that they're passionate about.
That is great moral advice. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!